So we've been through 8 Robot Masters, pushing through defeat after defeat after defeat, but we finally made it to Dr. Wily himself. I beat his second castle boss fight, made my way through the 8 Robot Masters once again, and eventually beat Dr. Wily at his own gear game. Now this will be my overall review and impressions of Mega Man 11 and the joy it's brought me. But first, let's talk about the stage bosses from Wily's Castles 2 through 4. So beginning with Castle 2, this stage is a bit more challenging than Castle 1, as to be expected. However, a little detail I didn't notice at the beginning of the level was that there's a giant skull machine that's set up to chase you when you get to a certain part of the level. And I kind of like that because I was so busy focusing on getting to the boss and, getting to the next stage, that when it was looking right at me when I first, jumped into the stage, I was just like, interesting design. But before I get there, I'll have to talk about what the stage is about. So, familiar enemies make a return, Sniper Joes, little bomb men from Bomb Man stage. And surprisingly, there are these mini bosses that are shaped like skulls as well, that can one-shot you, or at least when your health is a certain level. They have a traditional weak point of the eyes and mouth, but I discovered when you use the Tundra Storm, you can just breeze right through them. However, the most challenging part of this level comes from what I mentioned earlier, the giant skull chasing you while you maneuver through the level and destroy the skull mini-bosses. I'll admit at first when this happened it caught me off guard and I died, but I was able to collect myself, figure out the Tundra Storm and the power gear make a good combination, and eventually got past that part that was causing me so much trouble. Now for the boss fight. This boss fight I think he might be my favorite boss in this game, because let me tell you how it is. It's a giant metal ball covered in spikes that teleports and shoots lasers at you. I'm sorry, that is like epic, and only something Mega Man can pull off with its uniqueness, you know what I mean? And initially I was confused about how to go about beating this thing, because I tried the Mega Buster, it didn't work, so I just thought about it logically. Every weapon except the bounce ball seemed to not work on it. So I shot it with a bounce ball and voila, that was the weakness. It opened up and showed its weak point at the center, and I used the power gear and the bounce ball to defeat it. And if I have to say, it gave me a right good challenge. I had to use an E-Tank before the fight, or during the fight, excuse me, in order to survive. And it gave me a challenge and I'm grateful for that. I gave this boss fight in this stage an 8 out of 10 for the fun it brought me. Okay, now for Wily Stage 3 and the boss fight. Now, the first boss fight, the initial part of this stage is just going through random enemies and getting to the section where, the boss rushes. And as you know, in any Mega Man game, there's always a section where you have to defeat every boss battle once again to see how much you've improved. And I have to say, I improved a lot from my initial run of this game. However, there were a few bumps in the road where I had to use, an E-Tank once again. But I have to say, this section was really enjoyable. It helped show me that I have improved since the beginning of this game, and I can use Mega Man and his weapons in a smart way that allow me to defeat the enemies with relative ease. With an E-Tank, just one. Now, for the last part. The final boss fight with Dr. Wily and his stage. Now this part didn't really... Okay, I couldn't count it as a stage because it just involves a moving platform where you just dodge enemy fire and avoid spikes. But I understand where they're coming from on this, because it's kind of like, building the atmosphere of taking down Dr. Wily potentially for the last time, quote unquote. Let's be honest, we all know he's gonna try this crap again. Just waiting for Mega Man 12 to be announced this year. But anyway, that's besides the point. When you reach Dr. Wily, he has two machines. The first is a giant skull that will use the platform below to bring you to him while he launches missiles at you. But this part wasn't too bad when you have the chain blast and the power gear, which is much appreciated when you figure out you can jump on the missiles and, you know, do damage to Wily. And the second part involved him having a skull-shaped little saucer with gears around it, you know, fitting the gear theme thematically, and teleporting around the stage in order to do damage to Mega Man. Now, this part really made me think, because I didn't know what the weakness was, but then I thought about it, and I figured, you know, maybe the acid weapon was the weakness, because it was kind of the least used weapon in my opinion. Well, the weapon I used the least, and from my past experience, whatever weapon I used the least was probably the weakness of a boss. So, used the acid barrier, and yeah, that was his weakness all along. However, when his health gets to a certain threshold, he'll use the speed gear to teleport around and try and ram into Mega Man like a freight train. So I thought about it once more, and the only weapon that seemed to be able to damage him while he was in this stage was the electric weapon that we gained previously. I can't remember its name right now. Scramble Thunder, excuse me, the Scramble Thunder, in order to damage Wily while he's going at it. And when you get the timing down, it's a pretty manageable fight. So it made me happy to know that even when I'm being damaged, I can still manage this fight using the Scramble Thunder. And I have improved enough to realize, you know, what enemies have, what weaknesses. Alright, and now for my review or initial impressions after beating Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11 is a game that not only adds to the formula of running and gunning, but does it in a way that still holds true to what brought it fame in the first place. With exciting level design, fantastically designed boss fights, and difficulty options that encourage replay, Mega Man 11 deserves an 8 out of 10, and is a game I'm glad to add to my collection. I welcome it and the sequel that will inevitably become due to the fact that Wily escapes in the end. But the game's been out for over a year now, so no spoilers there. But yeah, this game truly brought me enjoyment, even the Yellow Devil section, because it didn't treat me like some kid that needed his handheld, but allowed me to grow as a player and beat this enemy, or whatever enemy that was in front of me, by using my own hand and my own skills. So I'm thankful to the developers at Capcom for making this game, and I graciously await Mega Man 12. Now that being said, please no more Yellow Devils. I can't deal with Yellow Devil anymore. That boss fight scarred me. But anyway, what do you guys think of Mega Man 11? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it lukewarm? Tell me in the comment section below. And also, have a good day, and God bless you all. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I truly appreciate it. Now enjoy the final scenes of Mega Man 11 while this video plays out.